Hello, my name is Ken Ganfield, and in this screencast, I will show you the improvements in the support for the WebLogic Server in NetBeans IDE 6.10 Milestone 1. I am running the Milestone 1 build, and I have installed the WebLogic 11G Server Patch Set 2. The first step is to register the server in NetBeans. To do that, I go to the Services window and open the pop-up menu on the Servers node and choose Add Server. In the Add Server Instance wizard, I specify the server location. You see that the IDE detected the path to my domain and the port number. I enter the password and finish the dialog to add the server to the list of registered servers. I now start the server from the pop-up menu. From the pop-up menu, I can also open the Properties window where I can set various properties such as the username and password, as well as the virtual machine options for running WebLogic. You can see that the IDE already set the correct memory settings for my platform. When the server is running, I can also explore the various applications and resources deployed to the server. From the pop-up menu, I can also directly open the WebLogic admin console in my browser. For the purpose of this demo, I will change the default Java persistence provider to TopLink, so I will now log in and do that in the admin console. I will now create a web application. The application will use a table in my sample database, so I first check that the database connection is listed and connected under the Databases node. I now open the new project wizard and choose Web Application. I first enter the name of the project and set the location. On the next page, I need to choose the server from the list. If I select Glassfish, I can choose Java EE6 for the Java EE version. But when I select WebLogic, EE6 is not an option, so I will select Java EE5 as the Java EE specification level. This application will use the Java Server Faces technology, so I will select Java Server Faces in the Frameworks panel. WebLogic ships with several implementations of JSF, and you can see that the IDE is aware of this and offers the available implementations in the server library list. I will accept the default one, which is JSF 2.0. JSF 2.0 is actually a Java EE6 technology, but because it is back compatible with Java EE5, it will work with WebLogic. The JSF 2.0 implementation ships with WebLogic, but it is not installed by default. The first time that you choose to use JSF 2.0 with your domain, the IDE will display a dialog that asks if you want to install the JSF 2.0 libraries. If you click Yes, the IDE will enable the libraries for you, so I will click Yes. The new project wizard creates the project and opens the default index.xhtml page, which uses the new Facelet file format, not JSP as in the previous versions of JSF. Under Configuration Files, the IDE also generated the WebLogic XML deployment descriptor file. As you can see, this file contains a library reference to the JSF 2.0 library. I will now use a wizard to generate entity classes from a database. In the wizard, I will create a data source based on the database connection to the sample database. I specify a Jindy name and select the connection that is registered in the IDE. The IDE knows how to create and manipulate WebLogic data sources, so this step will result in the creation of a new data source on the server. After I specify the data source, the wizard displays the tables in the database and I choose one of the tables. The IDE automatically also selects the related tables. In the next page, I need to provide a package name and specify some additional options. I will let the wizard create the persistence unit for me and also let the wizard generate JAX-B annotations in the entities. These annotations are needed if you want to expose the entities in web services. I finish the wizard and the IDE generates the entity classes. I will now generate the web pages of the application using the JSF Pages from Entity Classes wizard. In the wizard, I select all the entities and type the package names. I can now run the application. The IDE deploys the application and opens the index page in the browser. You can see that the application allows you to view and manipulate data in the database tables. I will now use a wizard to create a web service in the application. I name the class and specify a package name. The wizard generates the class with the sample web service operation. I create a new operation using the Insert Code menu to open the Add Operation dialog. I inject the Entity Manager factory so I can use Java persistence and then implement the method. I will use the JPA controller that was created when the JSF pages were generated and use the injected Entity Manager factory in the constructor and call the find customer entities method. I then deploy the application again to the server. After the application is deployed, I can select Test Web Service from the pop-up menu on the Web Services node. The IDE launches WebLogic's Web Service Testing Client in the browser, and I can invoke the method I created in the service. You can see the result as a SOAP response. Back in the IDE, if you expand the project's Server Resources node, you can see the data source XML file that specifies the details of the JDBC driver for the database. In the Services window, you can see that the application is listed under the deployed web applications. Under JDBC Resources, you can see that the data source that was created is also deployed to the server. This concludes the demo of the improved WebLogic support in NetBeans 6.10 Milestone 1. Thank you for watching.